views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
This show's audio was via a Skype call.
You are listening to A Space of Allowing Radio with Coach Nancy Coco, welcoming all that wants to be present today. Tune in Thursdays every first and third week at 9 a.m. Pacific as Coach Nancy helps you find a space of allowing, a unique environment where all beings and all energies are welcome to show themselves and be loved. Are you ready to know your whole self and live a more authentic, non-resistant, joyful life? Are you ready to be acknowledged and welcomed home? Join A Space of Allowing Radio for some deep allowing to explore what lives at your edges and to bring more of yourself home. Here is your host, Coach Nancy Coco.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to A Space of Allowing Radio. I'm Coach Nancy Coco, and I am really feeling this week's topic, which is fill your tank with joy inside. I'm bubbling up all sorts of excitement about being on air this week with my special guest, Shirin Eskandani. You know, this notion of joy and resiliency and being able to fill up is now more than ever really essential for us. It's not an extra. It's really one of the foundational ways that we are able to shine in our days. So how do we ground ourselves in our joy, especially when circumstances around us are difficult? Is it possible to hold a center of joy and peace even when all around us circumstances may be jangling, unsettling, disruptive, traumatic? And honestly, we're going to go all those places today. And I'm really thrilled to have my special guest and friend and colleague from our Coaching for Transformation program with me, Wholehearted Coach Shirin Eskandani. Hello, Shirin. Welcome.
Hi, Nancy. Hi, I'm so excited to be here.
So can you tell us a little bit about your work? I know you have a dual career path, and I knew you first as an opera singer with your background in performing at Carnegie Hall and the Metropolitan Opera. My gosh, so many beautiful talents and skills. And now you're bringing the life coach, public speaking. I know you've been on the Today Show. I watched you, and you've also been in Cosmopolitan magazine. Can you tell us a little more about your space and your work?
Yeah. So as you said, I am a singer and I'm a coach. And, you know, it's really my career in opera that brought me to coaching. I moved to New York in my early 20s, and I was extremely lucky in that my literal childhood dreams came true. I graduated from school. I started working full-time as a singer and really living, quote unquote, the dream.
Mm-hmm.
And then, in my early 30s, I realized I was really unhappy. And, I looked around me and everything on the outside looked like it was supposed to look, right?
Mm.
And it just didn't feel that way on the inside. And I've always been a very innately happy, joyful person. But I realized I'd really been taking that for granted. And I wasn't really cultivating and creating joy for myself. And I wasn't really being mindful of kind of what that mental inner chatter was, And so when I started working with a coach, and that transformed my life, and it really brought me also to, my second career path, which is, just so incredible. And it's been a really crazy ride. But I really realized that, for me, coaching and music are the same thing. I get to connect with people on a deep level and transform them. It's incredible. Yeah.
So I want to rest with that just for a minute, because I'm smiling over here thinking that so coaching and singing are really the same thing. And people might say, what the heck? But I would second that, because my background is with writing. Okay.
Wow.
So writing myself and teaching writing and coaching are very compatible because it's about seeing through to the essence, about discovering in the process. It's about, reaching for your authentic self and really honoring all the ways that it shows up. So can you talk a little bit more about the intersections of those two things as we get to know you better, the singing, the coaching?
I mean, it took me a while to really figure it out. And I was really at odds for a while because I was like, how are these things related? It just seems, but really, it's taking people on a journey where they don't know where they're going, right? And you're doing it in a really beautiful way where you just like, it's just open and expansive. And then people come to these truths and these conclusions totally unaware that how that happened, and I think that's what music always does for me when you're on stage and people just experience transformation without even trying to do it. And I think that's what the most aligned, grounded coaching is when you and your client come to this space of a realization that neither of you sometimes know how you got there, but it's just through these different portals and ways. And so that's how I really think they're so connected.
I love that. I'm so glad that I asked you to go a little further into that because I'm feeling it like wrapping itself around me kind of like a warm blanket. And I'm hoping that our listeners too are starting to get a little situated with the notion that even you and I are going to take them on a journey in this hour that we hope will, stimulate, inspire, ease, relax, all those same kinds of things that are that journey of discovery, really going further inside. In this case, related to joy. I have another question just about when you were sharing your introduction a little bit, your 20s, having it all, living the dream, moving to New York, singing on stage, and then you mentioned your 30s, suddenly there was, I don't know, this unhappiness that settled in. What transpired in between there? I don't know if that's something that you can unpack, but I think maybe that too is the backdrop for why we need to stay plugged into joy when things around us change. Can you take us inside a little bit and tell us more about what happened in those years that sort of woke you up to the need to recharge?
So, it was really achieving my greatest achievement. That was my greatest aha moment. I had always wanted to sing at the Metropolitan Opera. Like my literal childhood dream was, that was my childhood dream. And I that dream came true for me a couple years ago. Yeah. Absolutely.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I'm just getting chills. Everything's giving me chills about that. Just thinking of you and knowing your voice and envisioning you there. Yeah.
It was just this incredible experience I remember my agent calling me, and I'd had this audition, which I thought was terrible. And they said, they want you to sing, it was my dream role in my dream opera. And, I was just so thrilled and excited, but I remember getting the contract and none of that joy or excitement or sense of fulfillment was there. It was like, I looked at that contract and I thought, I don't deserve this. I'm not good enough for this. Right. And it was all of that negative chatter that filled that space. And it was an aha moment for me because it was one of those things, when we make like benchmarks for ourselves or goals for ourselves, and you're like, when I reach this, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to feel successful, whether that's a weight or whether that's finding a boyfriend. And it's like, here I was, like my childhood dream. And I was like, I will feel successful. I will feel happy when I sing at the Met. And I didn't feel any of that. And so I realized, right. And it was that moment where you realize, oh, it's not our outside circumstances that dictate how we feel. It's how we perceive and experience our lives. And that's all on us. Right. And so that's when I really was like, okay, you got to get to work. You got to fix what's happening on the inside. Yeah.
That's huge. Yeah. It's not our outside circumstances that dictate how we feel. Yeah. And yet it is so often. Right. It is the outside circumstances that's supposed to equal some measure of success or happiness or whatever. And also, that persona or that public face then that has to go on a performer.
Yeah.
And I myself, even as a teacher and all the years that I've done that work, that kind of feels like a performance too, to a certain extent. Yeah. Not that it's inauthentic, but it's, you got to put on the smile, the show must go on sort of a thing. And really, as we're coming around to this space of allowing what was true for each of us at different times in our lives when those moments creep up on us, it wasn't very joyful necessarily. Yeah. And so now let's kind of step into a little bit the place of joy in a moment like that, even when there's kind of this radical like disconnect between the moment that's presenting. You manifested that moment, right?
I did. I sure did.
From childhood, the dream became reality. And yet it sounds like there wasn't a lot of joy in that moment necessarily.
Yeah.
Can you give us a little glimpse into what maybe, what the relationship might be or what the relationship could be?
Well, with joy, and so there's this really interesting. I read this that the science has done all these studies and stuff, and there's these percentages: 50, 40, 10, and I think it's so interesting. So 50% of our joy, it's all about joy. So 50% of joy is genetic set point. So I was just one of those people who had a really great genetic set point, 50% taken care of, and I just took it for granted. And the two other numbers are 40 and 10. And I think our society has these two numbers backwards, right? 40% is actually inner work and 10% is outside circumstance.
Oh.
But we are raised, like our society makes us feel like 40% is outside circumstance, right? And it was like that moment where like those numbers, I was like, I get it. Like you can dream, you can like create huge goals for yourself, but it's like, who is the person you are during that process of reaching that goal? How do you treat yourself, right? What does the goal mean to you? Like and I was realizing everything was so conditional in my life. It's like I had to get something in order to feel a certain way about myself instead of just feeling that way, right?
Ooh, yeah, that's big too. Now I want to just kind of like slow that moment down a little bit, because can you say that again? So many things were conditional, because I think that's going to resonate with a lot of us. Like what you're just saying is my shared experience too. Can you say that again?
We live conditional lives. We place conditions that we can feel a certain way if this certain condition happens, right? And it's like we actually have to feel unconditional, like unconditional joy. That's based on no conditions, right? Which is very hard, but that is the work that I feel like we all must be really committing ourselves to.
I'll tell you what, I'm making notes. I don't know if anybody else is, as our listeners are there, but that idea of unconditional joy, it's true, because I think you're going to teach us a lot in this call about allowing joy to be our companion, even if all the variables in the equation aren't adding up. Right now. There's still the essential relationship that we can have with taking care of ourselves and knowing that joy can be a companion for us. I think that is going to be huge, and I'm so glad everyone is listening. And I just want to mention that we're looking forward in the second segment to your 3 E's of joy. Tell us what those are real quick. And then
so the 3 E's are embrace, enjoy, and engage.
Delicious. Okay. And when we return, we will dig into embracing joy in our lives. We'll be right back.
Conscious Confidence Radio, a timeless wisdom with Sarah Main. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio and join Sarah on an adventurous journey to the deeper level of meaning to move beyond today's world of constant change, confusion, and uncertainty beyond the shadow of fear. This hit show explores key concepts such as confidence, values, and attitude in a dynamic way. To learn more about Sarah and her work, visit sarahmain.com.
Are you done being afraid to jump into the life that's waiting for you? Are you ready for a real shift? I invite you to tune in every Tuesday with me, Tracy L., on the Tracy L. Clark Show, where we will teach you how to live your extraordinary life. At 8 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio, where I will provide the tools and the steps needed to help you transcend perceived limitations and move forward with an extraordinary life. For more information, visit me at tracylclark.com.
Golden Otter Divinations Radio, where the metaphysical meets the mainstream with Autumn Seibel. Tune in the first Friday every month at 9 a.m. Pacific as Autumn, educator, health coach, and medium, explores metaphysical and mainstream strategies on how to elevate your level of conscious living. Draw in the abundance that is yours by divine right. For more information about working with Autumn, visit goldenotter.us. That's golden like the precious metal and otter like the precious animal.us.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to A Space of Allowing. I'm Coach Nancy Coco, here with my friend and fellow Wholehearted Coach Shirin Eskandani. And today we're really talking about the ways that joy can be a constant inner companion in our lives and the need to fill up our tanks with joy. And I'll tell you what, in the first segment, I already started making some notes. And I usually say, dear listeners, that you may want to have paper and pencil out. But now I want to give you a special offer for you. Come find me on Facebook at Nancy Coco Coaching. Drop me a little line. Let us know that you're listening to today's show. I will send you a sticky notepad, a Space of Allowing sticky notepad and pen in the mail. I'll connect with you on Messenger. So I do think that the kinds of things that we're talking about today are sticky ideas. And for sure, we want you to be able to take them with you to your own space of allowing. So find me on Facebook at Nancy Coco Coaching, and we'll connect beyond the show. Shirin, I would love for us to anchor our conversation with some clarity around what joy is and what it isn't. Can you start us there and then help us to dismantle some of the ways that we put conditions on our joy?
Yeah. So for me, joy is, it's a state of being, and it's the ability to be really present and accept your life exactly as it is in the moment right now.
No.
Right? Yeah, right? And really embrace what is happening right now with kind of a sense of gratitude and wonder. Yeah.
Okay. Could you offer us that one more time? Something similar?
So
Sorry.
For me, joy is a state of being, and it's the ability to be present and accept your life exactly as it is right now. Beautiful. And embrace it with a sense of gratitude and wonder.
Beautiful. I'm tasting that. I'm just tasting that. I really am enjoying that. And I just want to quickly say that this show is broadcasting on my birthday. And so I feel like a lot is coming up for me on the notion of joy. And my mother, who's gone for a long time now, my mother's showing up a lot in this show. So thank you for the places you're taking us. I think she was an embodiment of what you're talking about here. Even in a lot of tough times, my mother had a very sweet spirit.
Yeah, and I think that's the power of joy, is it can be present even in the toughest of times. Yeah. That's the beauty of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for that. And I'm resting with that in this space of allowing, that we can hold a couple of things that maybe even seem to be contrary. And yet it doesn't mean we have to forfeit joy in those moments. And so I offered the show up to my mom today because that's what it feels like it's meant to be. So we started talking about your 3 E's of joy. Yeah. Embrace, enjoy, engage. And so in the embracing dimension of this, what does that have to teach us about joy?
Embrace is exactly, that definition, which is really accepting your life as it is right now. And I think with embrace, it's not that we're resigned, right? But we are accepting, and we're not pushing against or struggling with, we're not identifying with the struggles in our life, right? We're just really simply being able to allow them to be and just say, okay, this is what's here right now. And I think we touched upon this before. So many of us, we have an idea of what joy is supposed to look like. And it's often that idea that keeps us from being joyful. And, when I say that, we place these conditions between ourselves and joy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what I'm thinking about with that, and thank you for saying that in a couple of different ways, because I think we need to turn this around and kind of radically look at it to be able to make friends with it a little more than we generally do. I thought right away of social media and how
Right.
sometimes that seems to rob us because it's the sense of comparison with other.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I don't have that. I'm not talking that way. She's got a really cool something, and they're able to XYZ, whatever it is. I read your post, not too long ago about adoring and yet maybe feeling jealous of a mom with babies, and
Right.
how you just put it out there, that sense of what challenges us, what tempts us, what takes us out of our own selves into, that thief of comparison, that expression that we can't be centered in our own selves, in our own space and place, because we're longing for something.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is so on the nose. Yes.
So what to do, my gosh, right? What to do to get ourselves back to ourselves rather than giving ourselves away to all those spaces and places that challenge us and feel like there's got to be something better over there in the neighbor's backyard.
Yeah. And I think it's really tapping into really asking yourself, like, and I call this the if only mindset, which is like, if only I had, a partner, if only I got a few more hours of sleep, if only I had a few more, dollars in the bank, we place all these if onlys between ourselves. Okay, if I get that much money, I'll be happy. And, I can say this with 100% certainty, everyone listening, that we have gotten that exact thing we thought we wanted and not felt that way that we thought we were going to feel, right?
Well, yeah, that's your exact example that you offered at the top of the show, is that the dream came true.
Yes.
And then the internal chatter was like, oh, not worthy, not happening, not this, not that. Okay, so how can we talk back to that a little bit? How can we have conversation with all the parts of ourselves that want to show up in this space of allowing, even the shadow parts of us that challenge, like conceptually, I get what you're saying.
Yes.
But how do I take that inside at the cellular level and really embody that? How can I get to that space of accepting, allowing?
Well, for me, of course, the first step is just awareness, right? Which is what are the if onlys? And I would really ask that of a client, of the audience, is just really write down, journal, what are the if onlys that I'm placing, right? Is it weight? Is it love? Is it a job? So just really look at that. And when you've created that list for yourself, look at it and really ask yourself, is this true? Do I truly need this thing to feel this way? I think though that first question, it takes away so much of the power of that thought.
Yeah, I'm taking this personally a little bit. I hope our listeners are too, because I'm making my little mental list in my head. I'm making my mental list. And last year, if those of you who are listening to the show over time, you've heard me say that I retired, quote unquote, last year from my career in education. And I offered myself a chance to think about it as a Renaissance year rather than retirement, like the end of the road. There is no further path. I'm at the cliff. I go over the edge, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I framed it as a Renaissance year, but I also had worry. I had a lot of worry that I might lose my home because my financial circumstances were changing, et cetera, et cetera. And I will say for sure that my sense of well-being was tied to, I got to have this house. I must live here. If I don't live here, who will I be without this house? Who will I be? And I'm holding that a little more loosely now and kind of talking back to that and saying, well, it doesn't have to be this house. It needs to be some measure of safety, but it doesn't need to be exactly these conditions must be met for me to be able to flip on the light of joy in my life.
Right. And I say also, like, when we look at our if onlys, it's like really look at what the values that you really, like, what is the value or the values that you seek from this if only, right? With your house, I hear safety, security, community. And so that is what that if only is expressing, is like, this is what I desire. This is what I need.
Okay. So we don't necessarily deny ourselves the meeting of that need.
Right.
Okay. But we also don't put a condition on the fact that I can't be happy unless I got to have it or else. Yeah. It's like almost kind of holding myself hostage or something. Like I am the giver of the gift and I am the withholder of the gift. Like you can't be joyful, Nancy, unless and until you have this exact house and you make the mortgage payments or something. That's weird, isn't it? Right. And yet,
yes.
I was just going to say that those are the parts that show up that need to be held more gently because it's all true, right?
Right. And it's really offering to that part and saying, hi, I see you. And I see that you're so committed to me being safe and secure and being connected to my community. But, but just trust me. Let's try something a little different. And it's just really first honoring and acknowledging that shadow part that's popping up. Right. And not just pushing it away. And then just saying, let's just maybe try this. Let's see what happens. Be curious.
Yep. I think that's why as we coach, that conversation around needs and values is essential.
Oh, yes.
Because unless I can name certain of the things that come up for me. So we just have about 2 minutes in this segment. Would you be willing to give us a little bit of a guided visualization about the if-onlys? Is there some way that we can think about this to allow ourselves to call those forth and be with them for the rest of the show?
Yes. I mean, I would offer to everyone, and you can do this, closing your eyes or perhaps journaling, but really asking yourself, the questions we've been asking ourselves in this segment, which is, what is my if only, right? What is the barrier between myself and truly feeling the way that I want to feel? Mm-hmm. And really, once we identify that if only, once we see it for what it is, asking that part, that if only part, what do you truly need? What are you asking me for? What do you want me to give you?
Do you have one right now, Shirin?
Oh, goodness. If only I had more time. And I have
oh my God, I didn't think of that one. Put me there too now. Line me up right with you on that one.
Right. Okay. And I've really dug deep on this, if only I had more time. And for me, if only I had more time is the part of me that is scared that I'm going to lose my self-care. I'm going to lose my sense of community and my sense of connectedness. And so that is for me what my if only part is.
That's beautiful. So not only are we getting in touch with a little bit that longing or that open portal, of something that needs to be fed in us, but we're also recognizing maybe what that really represents.
Yes.
Not only the house, but the notion of safety, security, not only time, but also the notion of self-care. And so I love that. So we're going to rest right there, everyone, and take a quick break. And when we return, we're going to enter into the second E of these lovely 3 E's of joy and spend a little bit of time enjoying. And we'll be right back.
A word of caution, if you prefer the status quo and you are not interested in improving every aspect of your life, this book will trigger the shift out of you. The Truth is Funny, Shift Happens is available now. Author Colette Steffen brings the powerful knowledge and life-changing energy and empowerment from the radio airwaves to the pages of her new book. To get your copy in paperback or ebook, visit thetruthisfunny.com today.
If you're dealing with fear and anxiety, you've probably noticed that the more you fight these emotions, the stronger they seem to get. Dr. Friedemann Schaub, the author of The Fear and Anxiety Solution, explains that instead of suppressing, we need to identify and resolve the deeper, subconscious root causes of fear and anxiety. His personal breakthrough program has helped thousands worldwide to overcome their emotional challenges. To learn more, visit thefearandanxietysolution.com and schedule your free consultation with Dr. Schaub now.
The Knowledge Book, currently studied in 39 countries and 15 languages around the world, accelerates our evolution, takes us out of depression, offers universal truth, protects us, and makes us stronger, both spiritually and physically. So if you are interested in the Knowledge Book, visit usa.theknowledgebook.net and tune in to the Knowledge Book Radio with Marge Potasic on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Dream on, fly high, and live adventurously on The Laura Meeks Show. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio as host Laura Meeks guides you in finding your unique gifts and bringing them to life. As a certified life coach, speaker, and veteran bomber pilot for the U.S. Air Force, Laura knows how to follow a dream. She is ready to support you so you can dream on, fly high, and live adventurously. For more information on Laura and her work, visit flyhighliving.com.
Are you stuck in unhealthy habits, toxic relationships, or low self-esteem? Do you crave a life of inspiration, love, self-acceptance, and fun? Sounds like you're on the verge to your next big thing. Join Laura Richer, host of On the Verge Radio, helping you use your breakdown for a breakthrough, overcome life's greatest challenges, and live the life you want and deserve. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio or visit SeattleHealingHypnosis.com for more information.
Are you done being afraid to jump into the life that's waiting for you? Are you ready for a real shift? I invite you to tune in every Tuesday with me, Tracy Al, on the Tracy L. Clark Show, where we will teach you how to live your extraordinary life. At 8 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio, where I will provide the tools and the steps needed to help you transcend perceived limitations and move forward with an extraordinary life. For more information, visit me at tracylclark.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to A Space of Allowing Radio. This week, we're exploring ways to fill our tank with joy. And I'm noticing myself speaking even a little more slowly now as we enter our third segment, because I'm really happy to be with my friend and wholehearted coach Shirin Eskandani, who is enabling us to unpack a little bit the conditions that sometimes get in the way of joy. And Shirin, I would love for you to share how people could find you online beyond the show, because I think this is really valuable work that we're just touching on now, and we may want to follow up and find you. So tell us a little bit about your business and how folks can find you beyond the show, please.
Yeah, so you can find me on my website, which is wholehearted-coaching.com. And you can sign up for my email list there. It's a weekly email. And also on Facebook, I'm facebook.com/wholeheartedcoach. And on Instagram, I'm wholehearted coaching. So those are the ways that everyone can find me.
And you work with individuals, you do workshops. Can you tell us a little bit more about the array of ways that you manifest your work as a coach? I'm always interested in hearing that.
I do one-on-one coaching. I also do online group coaching. And in the New York area, I do workshops and seminars as well.
Beautiful. And I find that I am really fed by, my spirit and soul are really fed by your feed in Facebook. That's where I generally land when I'm looking for positive connection and reminder about, situating myself in my life. So I would urge all our listeners to connect with you on Instagram and Facebook, and even just going to Wholehearted Coach this morning on Facebook was like, oh, there you are. I just loved having that little connection with you, because we haven't been together, since our coach training time. But it was really lovely to be there with you. So listeners, please do check that out. Both of us are on Facebook, and stay connected, I think, because we're touching on some really significant things that can contribute to our wellness in these challenging times. So in this third segment, I'd love for you to take us into the joy dimension of this and truly enjoying our life, again, against the backdrop of challenges. It's not like we have to clear everything out and have it just exactly right in order to have joy in our life. But maybe there's another barrier that needs to be addressed. So tell us a little bit more about the enjoy dimension of this experience, please.
So I think one of the biggest barriers, especially with joy and in joy, which is the second step, is worry. Worry is what takes us out of our joy so often. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just tasting that a little bit. I have to go inside and check in and go, okay, what am I worried about? Because I think I tend to like to pretend as if I don't worry. I don't worry. I'm not a worrier. No, I'm cool with that, and I do think I fret. Like, maybe let's call it 20 other words. But yeah, I do think that I'm fretful about certain things. And I can feel how energetically it takes me off to the tip of the diving board, like I'm over there worried about something, I'm not fully grounded in myself over here. I'm almost tipping over into, some place where I don't belong because it's not in the present moment. It's usually if I'm worried, it's about some pretend scenario maybe that might happen or might not.
That's exactly it with worry. This summer I actually made because I became so aware that I worry. Like, worry is just the thing that I default to. And I said for the summer that it was going to be my worry-free summer. Of course, it meant that I was just doing a lot of work around what worry means to me and when it pops up. And so, but it really illuminated to me that worry for me and for a lot of the women I work with, we believe that when we worry, we care more or we're working harder. We're on top of it.
Yeah, it's like a badge of honor that I'm worried about you. And so it's like I'm folding you in some love, actually, probably.
Yes. Or even with our work, especially too, though, right? Like, oh, I'm just so worried about that. Like, when you get together with your friends and it's like, you end up fetching and talking about all your worries instead of all your joys,
How interesting. Listeners, are you taking this to heart? Does any of this really resonate for you? I really think that you just said that more specifically, Shirin, and I'm like, yeah, that's true. We do. We usually have to start by getting all that stuff out on the table, right? As if and again, it's a little bit sneaky sense of comparison.
Yes, exactly. And also that thing of like, it almost seems like we have to talk about our worry. Doesn't it seem weird to just say, oh, I'm just going to come in and tell you about all my joy?
Doesn't it almost seem a little, it's weird how I think culturally, perhaps it seems a little self-serving.
Yes.
I'm happy about this and I'm grateful about that. And I'm joyful about the other. And people would look at me like, yeah, well, she's over there in some cloud. Like,
who is this
as if it's detached from reality. And yet I love that you're challenging us to, pull that weed right out of the garden because that's not necessarily the way that it has to be.
It really doesn't. And I think you really hit the nail on the head with worry, which is, we think we're protecting ourselves. And I've said this, I once had someone tell me that, when we worry, it's like being on a roller coaster and like closing our eyes and bracing ourselves for a crash, right? Instead of enjoying that roller coaster and all its thrills and ups and downs with eyes open and just enjoying it, what would that be like? What would life be like if we released that worry?
Wow. Okay. I'll tell you that. And thinking about my coaching work, also, I think that might be like, I don't know if I can imagine a life without worry.
Yeah.
That one, I think we may be so fused, our identities may be so fused with the notion of I must worry, I must be on guard, I must be alert, I must be armed and ready to go at any moment because something's going to happen.
But I will say this, and I will challenge you with this question, which is worry making you work harder or is it making the work harder?
It's worry. Okay, ask again.
So is worry making you work harder or is it making the work harder?
Yeah, I think it's adding a layer of interference.
Yeah, I mean, for me,
almost not useful.
Yeah. I mean, for me, worry, because like I work with a lot of very inspired women who just have these amazing, huge goals. And it's like when we're in a place of worry, it's like running a marathon in mud, right? When like right next to us is a beautifully paved path.
Oh, wow. Okay. I love that. Yeah.
Right. And so that's why I say it just makes the work harder. It's not making your work any better. It's not making you any more on top of things. It's just making you have to work harder because you just have all these thoughts popping up. Like, what if, oh my God, and it's just way too much weight to carry when you're trying to create amazing things.
Beautiful. So what do we do? Because I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried. Oh my gosh, I can't even help but say it right now. Right. I'm a little worried that I don't know how to put it down. I mean, again, my head loves what you're saying. Yeah. So how do I take it in my body and actually experience it, practice it, embrace it, allow it?
Right. So, I mean, one thing that first of all, it's trusting, right? So this is trusting a new way of being. So it's not going to make sense all for the first, and it's like building a new relationship. And I remember when I started working from this place of releasing worry, I thought, oh my gosh, you're not going to get anything done. You're not going to. And I said to myself, I made a promise. I said, okay, let's just try this for 2 weeks. Let's try this for 2 weeks and see what happens. And one of on a very tangible thing like that I did was, because I really love productivity ideas, was I made my to-do list short. I made it really, really short.
Wow.
And I have this thing that I call 3-3-1. And so 3-3-1 is I would have 3 things to do that were for my work, that were very doable, 3 things for my personal life that I was going to do that day. And then one intention. And that was like, curiosity, ease, fun, exploration, right? And I found that when I did that, I do that still, this is what I do, and I say that if I get anything more done, that's just the bonus. That's the cherry on top of everything.
So Shirin, hold that thought just for 1 second. I want you to say more, but I want to understand this and kind of like take it in and see it for myself. So 3 things work related, 3 things personal, and 1 intention. Is that daily or weekly or does it matter?
I do that daily, and I'm sure you can apply that to a weekly or monthly scale, like my 3 goals for this entire month, for my week. But for me, I do it daily because my mind just I can't organize it too much for me. But I know people who do that on a bigger like monthly or weekly scale.
And what does that do for you then? I love this idea.
Well, what it does for me is it makes me feel accomplished at the end of the day.
Oh,
right.
Beautiful.
Like I actually feel like I did stuff. And when you're someone who has so many things on your plate, right? Like you're a mother, you're a coach, you're a daughter, a wife, a friend. And so there's so many things to do. Your to-do list is not going to get any shorter. It's just not. But what you can do is reframe your relationship with your to-do list.
Oh, and reframe. Okay, right. Yeah. Reframe. So I'm thinking, like, even as I'm taking this personally for my own life, I do a weekly list of things to do.
Yeah.
And I make it over every Friday, so it's clean. And I love seeing things crossed off. Yeah. That just kind of feels good. But I also like the idea of maybe having a little sticky note.
Yes.
For today.
Yes.
So I do my little sticky note today. Yeah. Hooray! It's done. Right. And then, so I'm just kind of resting with the feeling of how that would feel at the end of the day to give myself a daily, and plus the intention dimension of that. Can you tell us what that sounds like or looks like if we're wanting to set a daily intention?
So for me, intention is really kind of, sometimes I'll pull cards, sometimes it'll just be a thought that pops up, but some sort of like really juicy word. And I literally have like a list of 100, 200 intentions. And I'll look at the list and I'll say, oh, you know what really resonates with me? Like curiosity. And it's not that I'm, seeking out curiosity, but I'll just find that it pops up during the day and I'll just be more curious about things. So I find that really grounds me in kind of that, my real soul. That's my soul goal. That intention is my soul goal. And those other things are, my like productivity goals, but that intention is my soul goal.
Soul goal. I just wrote that down too. I need more paper to write this down. I don't know about everybody else listening. That is delicious. And so we're going to take a quick break now. And I think when we return, I would like to go a little further down this path of, making friends with worry, releasing worry, being in our joy. And then the third E, tell us what that is.
That is engage.
All right. And we will be right back after these announcements.
Are you done being afraid to jump into the life that's waiting for you? Are you ready for a real shift? I invite you to tune in every Tuesday with me, Tracy L., on the Tracy L. Clark Show, where we will teach you how to live your extraordinary life. At 8 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio, where I will provide the tools and the steps needed to help you transcend perceived limitations and move forward with an extraordinary life. For more information, visit me at tracylclark.com.
Is traditional medicine not working for you? Do you still feel as if your health isn't 100%? Here at the Holistic Medical Center, Dr. Nushin Darvish and the qualified staff look through the dimensions of wellness and start a healing plan prioritized to your needs. Our physicians assess the whole you until complete health is achieved. Get the help you need by visiting drdarvish.com or call 425-451-0404.
Living Lighter Radio with Jason and Patricia. We have an ecosystem approach to your life. Tune in weekly every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio as we, Jason and Patricia, discuss what's truly holding you back. We offer you the tools you need to reach your goals and at the same time be living lighter. For more information about Living Lighter, visit www.livinglighter.org.
What is holding you back from living the life you are meant to live? Why is it vital to believe in something bigger than yourself? Are you in physical or emotional pain? Tune in monthly to Vibrant Purposeful Living. Awaken the vibrant life within you with Lou Paradise and Dr. Pat on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Lou's passion is to help everyone experience positive solutions for life. Find out more about Lou with Vibrant Purposeful Living at LouParadise.com.
Tune in to The Jen Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life, each Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific and 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This amazing show is an inspirational hour that will take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jen is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Call in for intuitive readings and visit JenRoyster.com for more information.
Calling all moms, it's time to awaken your vibrant, intuitive, loving self in every area of your life. Join host Debbie Pokornik as she shares thoughts, stories, and tools to help you stand in your power. Listen to Vibrant, Powerful Moms helping everyday women create extraordinary lives. Mondays at 2:30 Pacific, 5:30 Eastern. For more information about Debbie, visit empoweringenergy.com. That's empowering with letters NRG.com.
Oh my gosh, welcome back everyone to Space of Allowing, here with my friend and wholehearted coach Shirin Eskandani, loving this hour. I hope you all are taking the kinds of notes that I'm taking. I have sticky notes central here, and I want to just say to everybody listening, just connect with me on Facebook at Nancy Coco Coaching, and I'll send you a Space of Allowing sticky notepad and pen so that you can continue to take these notes, not only write them down, but also take them into your hearts and your own space of allowing. And Shirin, how can we find you online again?
At wholehearted-coaching.com. On Facebook, I'm Wholehearted Coach, and Instagram is Wholehearted Coaching.
Yeah, and quite frankly, you just type in Wholehearted and you're going to see a beautiful series of images and writings from Shirin. Oh. So we're so happy that you're with us as we're rounding out this time together to really commit to making joy a companion on our journey. And what you're teaching us, I think what you're teaching me, is that it's not conditional. It's not if only.
Mm-hmm.
It's not if I worry enough, then I will be worthy. It really is something that is our birthright, is what I want to say.
Yes,
it's something
it is.
we can tap into inside, and that we do need to fill up on, that there are ways that we can fill that tank so that we can step out into the world with all these amazing responsibilities and goals and opportunities. So I would love it if you would offer us one more guided visualization as we enter the space of your third E, or engage. Go ahead, take us there, can you?
One of the most I think quickest and most efficient and most effective ways to tap into our joy is through gratitude. And I feel like gratitude is a word that's thrown around a lot, but it really is just so important. And so I would love to just do a gratitude visualization to just really help everyone listening to tap into that, deep sense of appreciation that we all have.
Yes, please.
So I just, wherever you are, if you can, just kind of find yourself in a relaxed position and close your eyes. And I invite you to breathe into your heart. So just breathe in and feel that heart expanding. And with every breath out, just sense yourself releasing any tension you may be holding, whether that's physical or mental, whatever that is, just release it. And I want you to think of the phrase, I love. And then begin to think of all the things that you love in your life or about your life. The people, the things, the memories, the places, and just mentally whisper whatever comes to mind in response to that question. Just keep naming those things like a wave rushing towards you, all of the things that you love. And now perhaps just rest on one thing that you may have named or haven't named. But rest on one thing and see that thing, that person, that place, that memory in front of you. And look at it and express your love and gratitude to this thing that you see. And let this gratitude just expand into its fullness. Let it fill your cells. Let it fill its cells. Let it be as large as it wants to be. And now expand that gratitude even larger. And now be this loving, aware gratefulness. And sense that this is the essence of who you are. That right now you are truly at home in who you are. And take these last few moments to just really savor this space. And whenever you're ready, just blink your eyes open and come back to the present.
Wow. Oh, that felt so good. Again, this is my birthday, so it feels like you just gave me a lovely gift for this new year. A practice that, that thank you for that precious way of being with us and inviting us to be with ourselves. I kept seeing a carton of brown eggs in my refrigerator. Last night I made some eggs for dinner, and I'm always grateful when I'm able to go grocery shopping and afford to buy groceries. I just feel such gratitude to come home with groceries, unpack, and be able to eat a nourishing meal. And I kept seeing this carton of 12 brown eggs, and I opened it up and I'm like, they're beautiful. Thank you for that. I just, had this little moment of that. And then I was able to expand out in circles and circles and circles of influence, all the ways that you invited us to notice. to notice our lives. It's there.
Yeah,
I didn't
there.
pretend. I didn't have to make it up. But I do also want to say, Shirin, and I know you know this, that it's not easy to do what you just asked us to do sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'll sit and go, I can't see anything.
And I would, when it comes to gratitudes, in some circumstances and spaces in our lives and times in our lives, it is so hard to tap into it. And so I always invite people to think so small, even the gratitude of breath, which we sometimes forget, right? Like that I breathe, the deliciousness,
the beat of the heart,
right? The beat of the heart. And I find, yes, it can be difficult, but it's almost training ourselves to start looking at what is working well as opposed to what isn't working well.
Mm-hmm. Like you say, it's a radical acceptance. It's a new way of being with all the same circumstances. It's what you privilege versus what you deny yourself.
Yes, exactly.
Gosh, this has just been gorgeous. We want to go a little bit to shine a light on engage, that third E, and what that means to you and to us.
So to me, engage is, I think right now, especially in the world of social media, that we are engaged in a certain way. But when I say engage, it is really engaging with a person one-on-one, seeing them, touch, feel, sight, sound, all of that. There's this beautiful quote by Maya Angelou that says, we need joy as we need air. We need love as we need water. We need each other as we need the earth we share. And isn't that, it's just so impactful, and it's so important because we really, truly do need one another. And so I always remind people to find your community, seek out a community that truly allows you to be you, and to really find power in your vulnerability. And when you open up to people, see how they open up to you as well. So that's,
I'm just savoring this like this amazing, delicious, fortifying, nourishing meal that you've prepared and offered to us. And I think that I can't wait to have this show live to share with everyone and to continue to return to it myself, because I think that's what we realize is that, we can become depleted. And that in some measure, I suppose that's natural, to have the ebb and flow of awareness and then reach further and then need to come back to awareness and then reach further and then, be challenged and come back to awareness. And so that notion of filling our tank with joy and not only just the idea of it, but also the embodiment of it is what you've been able to offer us today. Shirin, thank you so much for being here. Boy, I love you, and I'm very grateful for you in helping me to fill my tank with joy today. And I thank all our listeners and hope that this has also been fortifying and replenishing to you. And any last word, Shirin, as we close out this hour together?
I just wanted to thank you for having me in the space of allowing. I absolutely love, adore you, and I'm so grateful for you and the work that you do.
Yeah, and I think what you've said, too, to be in communion with each other, with our listeners. Carter, thank you for producing the show for us. All of the community that this represents, I think, is where we need to spend our time and to rest our energy. So thank you all for listening. Thank you all for being with us. Shirin, thank you for your work in the world and for spending this hour with me. For everyone out there, remember to find Shirin, Wholehearted Coach, everywhere on all the social media channels. I'm on Facebook at Nancy Coco Coaching, and hopefully we will hear from you. Remember to fill your tank with joy, and we'll see you in a space of allowing.
Thank you for listening to A Space of Allowing Radio with Coach Nancy Coco, welcoming all that wants to be present today. Tune in Thursdays every first and third week at 9 a.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com as Coach Nancy helps you find a space of allowing, a unique environment where all beings and all energies are welcome to show themselves and be loved. Join Coach Nancy for some deep allowing to explore what lives at your edges and to bring more of yourself home. For more information or to listen to this show, visit nancycococoaching.com.